When you study the Bible, start asking questions. That's what biblical meditation will look like. Let me show you what I mean. Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. It says, Jesus called to him his 12 disciples, and he gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal every disease and every affliction. And the name of the 12 apostles are these. So before we move on to the names of the apostles, first of all, it's helpful to maybe ask, why is Simon Peter listed first? And then why is it Simon who is also called Peter? Some questions to consider and think through. When Jesus calls his 12 disciples, why does this involve necessarily giving them authority over unclean spirits? Because right now he's about to send these disciples into the cities and villages that he plans to visit, to preach and teach, and to bring the kingdom to. So why is it that they need the authority over unclean spirits? Why is it that they need authority to cast out unclean spirits? Where else in Matthew's gospel have we seen unclean spirits cast out? And what does it look like for Jesus to give them authority over these unclean spirits? And also, let's consider how they have authority to heal every disease and every affliction. We might be considering why the disciples being sent out necessarily involves authority over unclean spirits and disease and affliction. We'll move on. First Simon, who's called Peter, and then Andrew, his brother, then James, the son of Zebedee, John, his brother, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, and Matthew, the tax collector. Something to consider is we pause on Matthew to make something clear about his identity, or past rather, not his identity, but something that he was. The role he played in society was a tax collector. So what would have been thought about tax collectors? What was their reputation? What did they do in that culture? And why are we told that Matthew is a tax collector, but we're not told anything significant about Philip or Bartholomew or Thomas, right? James, the son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, Simon the zealot, right? What is a zealot in that culture? What were they known for? What did they do? What was their reputation? And why are we told about Simon being a zealot? So just a couple of things to consider is we're told about their previous roles in society. One was a tax collector, the other a zealot. Where do they overlap? What are the differences between these roles? And then Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. It's interesting that we're told this about Judas as he's being sent out. Judas won't betray Jesus till the end of his ministry, but why are we told this now? Why is this significant for Jesus sending him out? How does this connect to the mission of the kingdom, the authority over unclean spirits? How do these three details about the zealot, the tax collector, and the betrayer relate to the surrounding context and the point of this story? We will continue talking about this in the next